right on time for breaking today. Good evening from where you're watching us from. My name is Joel Church and our sign language interpreter is Michael Maidia. On a day that a fresh motion of impeachment has been tabled against Governor Mike Sonko by Kileleshwa Ward MCA Michael Ogada, who is also the Nairobi County Minority Leader on, among other grounds, abuse of office and graft. We have a lot in line for you, but first, here are our top stories.
If you check a county like Nairobi, constituencies are like villages.
Proposal to increase the number of constituencies as proposed by the BBI by creation of 17 new constituencies has sparked uproar in the country. Claims that Raila Odinga was not party to BBI changes have been rubbished. Invest more in continuous training so as to be better prepared to deal with emerging security threats. President Uhuru Kenyatta tells the Kenya Defence Forces. President Uhuru Kenyatta has advised the Kenya Defence Forces to invest more in continuous training so as to be better prepared to deal with the emerging security threats. President Uhuru Kenyatta was accompanied by the First Lady Margaret Kenyatta, emphasized that the training must focus on imparting skills that will prepare the military to respond to diverse challenges from both conventional and asymmetric spheres.
Today at the Kenya Military Academy in Lanet, Nakuru County, where he commissioned the 8th group of military cadets that has undergone a 3-year training under the Bachelor of Science in Military and Security Studies program. The cadets who studied the degree program offered by Kenyatta University in collaboration with the Ministry of Defense in 2017 will be graduating next month. Addressing the graduating officer cadets, President Kenyatta said they should use their professional knowledge, skills and competencies they have acquired to serve and protect the sovereignty of the nation, its people and region.
To effectively contain the security challenges of the 21st century, training within the military must be better aligned with emerging threats across all domains.
He congratulated the new officers and advised them to ensure their commitment to hard work, diligence and excellence does not diminish throughout their career.
We also urge you to always abide by the tenets of the officer's creed and to never let the high standards of professionalism, valor and commitment to duty that have been set by your predecessors
according to the law.
Noting that the commissioned officers included cadets from Rwanda, Tanzania and Uganda, President Kenyatta said the first-class training they have acquired from the training institution should help them to enhance security cooperation in the region. President Kenyatta awarded officers who excelled in various fields. Majibu Kitsao, Switch TV News, Nairobi.
Our focus now on matters health. Kenyans are not yet ready to pay the approximated amount of 327 Kenya shillings for Covid-19 vaccine dose developed jointly by pharmaceutical firm AstraZeneca and the University of Oxford. This follows the statement by the Health Director General Patrick Amoth that Kenya could easily get into a bilateral partnership with AstraZeneca to get more doses. Robert Auma with the details.
Since the first COVID-19 case was reported in the country on March 12th, it has been a tough 8 months for the country's economy. After a stretched period of the government frontlining the whole process of finding a way out of this, a dim light is spotted at the end of the tunnel.
Jambo hilo naona 300 ni hela nyingi sana. Mimi naona kama serikali wangetoa tu misaada kwa wananchi wake.
According to the Health Director General Patrick Amoth, the Chadox 1 and Covid-19 vaccine is promising because it shows protection against all groups and could be used to stop transmission of the virus. But are Kenyans ready for the vaccine at its cost?
Kwa maoni yangu hiyo sio halali kwa sababu serikali already iko na pesa imepewa ya COVID. Na sasa hiyo pesa serikali ndio ingetumia kupatia watu hiyo chanjo. So haifai kucharge hata ndururu.
Now, the vaccine will only be administered after the government forms and seals an official bilateral partnership with the pharmaceutical company AstraZeneca. For Breaking Today, I'm Robert Ouma.
Well, this may sound a disappointment to many. The number of guests allowed to attend wedding ceremonies has now been reduced to 50 after the Interfaith Council raised concerns over the rising number of COVID-19 infections in Kenya. Reverend Connie Kivuti, who is the vice chairperson of the council, says the decision follows due deliberations with the Ministry of Health. The council further reiterated that all the current requirements of hand washing or sanitization stations in the compound are sitting at 1.5 meter social distance, and where possible temperature checks will be enforced. The number of those attending funerals remains 100, and those allowed at the graveside are 15 people.
This is what the council has resolved, that all the current requirements from the guidelines, that is hand washing, sanitization in the compound, sitting of 1.5 meters social distancing, and of course, where possible, the temperature checks will be enforced. During weddings, the numbers of those attending to be strictly 50 people. At weddings, food will only be served for the nucleus family.
Pia katika mazishi tunasema hivyo watu waoshe mikono na wakae umbali wa mita 1.5 na kama inawezekana kupimwa joto ikue, na pia tunasema wanao hudhuria ibada ya mazishi wakuwe 100 na wanaoelekea katika sehemu ya kuzika wawe 15. Tunasema kwamba mazishi iwe katika lisali moja na hakuna chakula ambacho kinapeanwa ama kuliwa katika mazishi.
Elsewhere, Kakamega County Health Minister Collins Matemba has called on the county's health workers to be patient following their delay in their benefits, saying this is an issue that affects the whole country and is being addressed by the Council of Governors. Matemba has claimed that the Kakamega County Ministry of Health has adequate facilities to protect staff against coronavirus infections by dismissing allegations that health workers have been neglected. This comes just 2 weeks after the health workers at a level 4 hospital in Mumias threatened to go on strike for not receiving their benefits as aid workers at Butere Hospital continue with their strike.
The health sector in Kakamega is deteriorating day by day. Our people are dying.
And currently, as I speak, that issue is under discussion between the COG and the national government, since it affects all counties, and that will be a more lasting solution than, say, individual counties coming up with localized solutions which may not be sustainable.
Kama ni hivyo, kama hawatatulipa, we shall go on with our strike.
Meanwhile, Makaburini residents in Kakamega Township Ward are planning to demonstrate if a 67-year-old tout who has been sexually harassing young girls in the area is not arrested. Samuel Namukana reports.
Salim Imran, a 67-year-old man from Makaburini area in Kakamega, is on the run after villagers complained to the area chief of how the man has been sexually abusing at least 6 young boys and girls in the area.
Waache hapa wapate information kwa ground ya kwamba hawa watoto amezulumiwa. Na si hawa peke yake, Salim amezulumu hata watoto wadogo wasichana hapa. Tunataka haki zao sipatikane.
Kabisa tuone kama atafungwa ndio tutafurahia kwa haki ya hao watoto. Hiyo sio vizuri kufanyia watoto wadogo kitendo kama hiyo, na yeye pia hako na watoto.
Victims, who are underage boys and girls, claim that the suspect uses pornographic content to lure them into the act.
Akatumanisha tuite, alikuwa ametumanisha tukuje turogote uchafu, alafu akakokoa na nguvu. Mimi nikaangalia huko, akanifanyia hivi mkono, mimi nikakataa kwenda, nikakuja huko nikarogote uchafu, alafu nilikuwa narudi hivi akanivuta na nguvu akanipeleka kwake.
Wana nguvu vile niliangalia huko akaniita, nikaenda, alafu vile nilienda akaniambia nilambe dudi yake vile.
The area sheikh has condemned the incidents, claiming that Salim is a disgrace to the Muslim community around the township ward.
Nafanya ibada pamoja na yeye, lakini kuna baadhi ya kesi ambazo zimenikujia nyingi zinazohusiana na vitendo hivyo viovu.
Salim is a matatu tout who works on the BC Kakamega Kisumu Road and is believed to have a wife and kids whom he doesn't live with. Samuel Namkana, Switch TV, Nairobi.
Shifting gears now to matters, BBI claims that ODM leader Raila Odinga was caught off guard by changes made to the Building Bridges Initiative document has been dismissed. Homa Bay Member of Parliament Peter Kaluma has defended that the proposal on political parties determining those nominated to the Independent and Electoral Boundaries Commission has yet been dropped.
For the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, the provisions relating to how it is composed is in the Independent Electoral and Boundary Commissions Act. And those are laws among other election laws. If you look at the BBI report from page 141, are the laws which have to be looked at. So that thing is not dropped. The thinking of Kenyans is that the proposal in terms of how to compose IEBC should be in the Constitution. That is where they miss it. That is for the IEBC Act. And if you get to the report from page 141 going forward on legislations proposed, you will get IEBC Act as among the acts, listed to be amended. Now that is the component of IEBC matters which are now going to be dealt with under legislation. Remember I told you there are matters which we deal with as constitutional amendments. Others will require amendments of existing laws or enactment of new laws. Others will require administrative and policy interventions.
Initial move of instead of the 70 special seats proposed in the earlier in the BBI document that the country will get the same number of additional constituencies which will be created by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC has been faulted. Political leaders have expressed that it's unfair for counties like Nairobi getting land's share of 12 additional constituencies should the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020 sail through the proposed national referendum.
If you check a county like Nairobi, constituencies are like villages. They are like villages, and these guys have got no schools. They have got only maximum 7 schools. I am handling over 200 schools, and that is why we need to subdivide these constituencies, not only based in population, but based on the land. So at the moment, Kitui County, we have lost in BBI, totally lost. We expected to have Mwingi County as well, but Mwingi has got only 3 constituencies, which are very fast and densely populated as well. So we are agitating that we have to go back to the drawing board to review on how the constituencies are divided.
Kilifi gets 4 new constituencies, but if IBC had done the work of delineation of boundaries as provided in the Constitution, Kilifi would have gotten 6 constituencies, but 2 are lost because of whatever is happening. So we still feel as people of Kilifi that we've been shortchanged in terms of constituencies. We should have been given 6 constituencies.
12 minutes now past 7 p.m. Time to take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more stories. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Breaking Today. My name is Joel Church and our sign language interpreter is Michael Maida. Moving on, the government has released money for the elderly and people living with disabilities for the month of July and August around the country. In Maragua constituency, Murang'a County, 23 million has been disbursed to the beneficiaries. According to the Deputy County Commissioner, the challenge has been to ensure COVID-19 protocols are followed and maintained in various banks and agents that are used to give the monies, adding that chief and the sub-chiefs have been authorized to ensure the regulations are followed so as to curb the spread of the virus among the elderly who are in this case vulnerable.
Vyote vya kulipa hao wazee hela zao. Toa barua tukawaelezea wote katika wilaya hii ya Murang'a South kwamba ni lazima wewe pale katika zile benki, zile SACCOS na maeneo mengine natoa fedha hizi kuhakikisha sheria za afya kuhusiana na kuzuia ugonjwa huu wa Covid-19 imezingatiwa vilivyo. Vile vile bank management pia wameomba pia kuhakikisha wana mahali pa kuoshea mikono na viti vyao kuna nafasi wakati wananchi wao naketi pale kwamba nafasi ya kutosha inazingatiwa kama njia moja ya kuzuia ueneaji wa ugonjwa huu.
Crossing borders now, Scotland becomes the first country to allow free and universal access to menstrual products, including tampons and pads in public facilities, a move that eliminates period poverty and sets a pace for the world to better lives of women and girls across the globe. Harry Chimea has the story.
Free products for all. The Scottish Parliament has voted unanimously in favour for the Period Products Bill, months after lawmakers had initially signalled their support.
The motion is agreed and the Period Products Free Provision Scotland Bill is passed.
This means period products will be available to access in public buildings, including schools and universities across Scotland. According to the new rules, it will be up to local authorities and education providers to ensure the products are available free of charge. A pacemaker for the globe. Now in Kenya, it is reported that 65% of females are unable to afford menstrual hygiene products, even though the government, in partnership with the United Nations Population, funded a project in Kenya to provide girls with sanitary towels, a move that is still not enough. Moreover, hope still beams that Scotland will not be the last country to eliminate period poverty. Ariachimea, Switch TV.
Grace Akinyi. And now a focus on the U.S. politics. During an unofficial hearing of election irregularities in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, President Trump spoke to lawmakers by phone claiming victory. However, President-elect Joe Biden, addressing President Donald Trump's refusal to accept the result, says his team won. This comes days after talk that Trump would consider and allow smooth transition of President-elect Joe Biden into power.
Our democracy was tested this year. And what we learned is this: the people of this nation are up to the task. In America, we have full and fair and free elections. And then we honor the results. The people of this nation and the laws of the land won't stand for anything else.
Anybody watching television the night of the election was saying, wow, I was called by the biggest political people, congratulations, sir, on a big win. And all of a sudden, ballots were dumped all over the place, and a lot of horrible things happened. And
we allow elections in the future to be conducted the way this election was conducted, we will have lost our democracy, our representative democracy.
This is the latest from the world of business. Good evening and welcome. My name is Clifford Ndubi. Now, the national government has committed to place Kenya on the global map as an animation powerhouse in Africa. The Kenya Film Commission says animators in the country will be trained by professionals from across the world. The Commission's CEO, Timothy Owasi, says the government has partnered with ADA Labs Africa to host an animation bootcamp in boosting capacity in the Kenya film industry. Kennedy Kimani has filed this report.
The creative sector has a potential of providing employment to a large number of young people. As technology grows, there is need to empower young people who are involved in the animation that aims to put Kenya on the international map.
You have seen the kind of products that have been shown or done by these young people. And for us, that is just an exhibit.
From Kipeto Energy.
Due to the toughest competition in this significant sector, several things must be achieved. First, entrepreneurs need to get the right skills that will enable them to compete competitively with other stakeholders around the world.
Nationwide campaign. This campaign is aimed at identifying key animators or young talents that can be grown into becoming real animators for commercial purposes, and also to identify these skills from each and every corner of this country.
As we go to the Oscars from Kenya, which is our opportunity, I believe that the whole nation will back us, and lots of other animation studios as well will also come to work together, so we create a collaborative effort as Kenyans, as Africans. It's playing in that.
Following the launch of animation equipment in Mombasa County and the Commission, it is clear that a strong foundation is being put so as to develop animation talent. Kennedy Kimani, Switch TV.
Thank you, Kennedy Kimani. Kenyans have taken to social media to decry over pricey hotels and tourist destinations, despite their desire to want to boost the domestic tourism sector that has been highly affected by the coronavirus pandemic this year. Johnny Kutuni talked to an avid traveler who was recently discouraged from traveling locally due to the high rates.
With the closure of borders and the airports, the tourism ministry encouraged Kenyans to explore the local destinations, but Kenyans have expressed their disappointments of the costly fees charged by the hoteliers.
At the rates now, you'll find it's a very beautiful place. Yeah, you're like, okay, I'd love to go here. Then when you look at the rates, you're like, okay, something is not adding up here. They have like some ridiculous rates. Clearly not for the local mwananchi. So you find alternatives definitely.
Several of them joined in the conversation, terming it unfair to its local potential clients. Some compared Kenyan tourism market to other East African countries who offer much lower rates for the same services. Just like Halima, many have blamed the selective market and the policies put in place by the tourism stakeholders and advocates for reforms.
100,000 can get a flight, get out of the country, get a visa for the same amount, and spend for like, maybe that is a night I'll get like a place I can stay for even more than a week. So when you compare to the prices, Kenya and international, something needs to be done.
Kenya has been ranked as one of the best tourist destinations, receiving more than 2 million international tourists annually. 2020, however, was the lowest of the country's thriving sector, went through losing more than 80 billion shillings of revenue by the month of June. Reporting for Switch TV, my name is Joan Kutan.
All right, now let's take a look at the business roundup of the day.
Kenya's economy shrunk by 4%, sinking 2 million Kenyans into poverty. This is according to the latest data by the World Bank on how Kenyan economy has fared through the pandemic, where there was a sharp decrease in incomes and employment. The unemployment rate increased sharply, approximately doubling to 10.4% in the second quarter. Many wage workers who are still employed face reduced working hours, with average hours decreasing from 50 to 38 hours per week. In other stories, Kenya growth forecast this year has slid to 0.6% amid the economic fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic, making it the lowest expansion in 12 years. Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani say the impacts of the COVID-19 on families, businesses and economic activities has been worse than earlier expected, prompting a further slash on growth forecast set at 2.6% in September. Yatani say the 5.7% slump in gross domestic product, a measure of economic output in the second quarter, was particularly worse than earlier estimates. For Business Roundup, my name is Joanne Kutung.
Right, thank you, John Kutuni, for that business roundup, and it's a wrap from the business desk. Let's do this tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a peaceful night.
Well, time to now get sporty. The Football Kenya Federation has launched its partnership bid with foreign broadcaster StarTimes to ensure full coverage of the National Super League national team matches and the Kenya Premier League scheduled to kick off on Saturday. Till now, a total of 14 teams have confirmed the partnership, with others, including Kenyan Giants, Gor Mahia, yet to confirm.
KF Premier League now will be live on StarTimes. It will be live on channel 172 if you have a StarTimes decoder. It will be live on channel 463 if you are on satellite, StarTimes satellite. It will be on both packages, the decoder package, your normal package on aerial.
Leta kusema hiyo contract si ukweli. Hizo ni mastori. Sisi we have an endorsement from Gor Mahia kutoka kwa GS duly elected. Hiyo ingine ni mastori, sisi hatujui. Na tuko kwa hiyo maneno. Tunasema tu sisi tunajua timu 15 zimesign, timu 3 bado. Hizo timu tumeziandikia in courtesy to encourage them to sign, because this is record sponsorship that has not been there, because members of FKF wako na rights zao.
Crossing borders in the world of sports, 2 goals in 4 minutes ensured Atlanta cruised past English Premier League champions Liverpool 2-0 in an enticing UCL encounter that saw the Reds reach the final whistle with no shot on target.
Away by Ilicic, who timed the run, and Liverpool. Gomez. And Gosens. It gets worse for Liverpool, but delight for Atalanta. Well, he certainly is an attack-minded player, has a goal in him, Robin Gosens.
Elsewhere, Real Madrid ruined Inter Milan's hope of reaching the knockout stages of the Champions League after a dramatic 2-0 victory which saw Arturo Vidal sent off after being shown 2 yellow cards. Eden Hazard converted an early spot kick for Real, with Hakimi scoring an own goal.
Vidal, by his protest, has got himself sent off. Lucas Vazquez here.
Meanwhile, Robert Lewandowski progressed his tally, nailing in his 71st Champions League goal, steering Bayern Munich to the UCL knockout stage with 2 games to spare. Kingsley Coman's deflected strike doubled the lead before Leroy Sané headed home to make it 3 just 2 minutes after Bayern's Marc Roca was sent off.
Come inside and get the shot.